Okay, we want to welcome everybody. This is January 2018, and this is another entrepreneurial startup class. And our goal is that you will learn the basic foundational skills to now mentor your next person. As you know, this business won't go anywhere if you don't duplicate. And so we need to do the simple actions that duplicate. The cool thing about this startup group is usually we only have 6 to 8 people because we want to keep them small so we can individually mentor. But I'm trying something different this time. We have 4 leaders on with us who are going to facilitate this, meaning they're going to chime in here now and again too, but they are going to do the mentoring. I'm going to teach the lessons, but we want them to do the mentoring with the person that they invited to join. Now that doesn't mean you can't interact with me and we can comment on the Facebook group together. But it does mean that we want to empower you and equip you so that you can mentor the next person. A little bit of housekeeping before we begin tonight is I set up a Facebook group tonight, and not everybody is my friend yet. So I can't add you. So if your upline member has invited you here, maybe they can add you to the group, or you can request to be my friend and then just say, hey, I'm part of your January startup group, can you add me? And we'll do that. So I have a couple things posted in there tonight, and then I'll actually be posting things this week that you will need to work on and finish the lessons so that you are ready for the next week. We are only doing 5 weeks this time. Usually, minimum, it's a 6-week course. Normally, it's an 8-week course. So you guys are in hustle mode. So we're going to do 5 weeks foundation, but you're going to do extra homework. So I hope you're ready for this. Now, I'm very excited because I'm going to just highlight some of the keys that tonight we're going to go through. Why should we even look at Young Living as a business, and maybe network marketing and direct sales? What's the difference? And then we want to look at some of the tools that we can use this week. And then next week, we'll look at your first class, getting your calendar filled, maybe some of the tools that duplicate. And I've got 2 leaders on here tonight that I'm really excited. They can share exactly what we do, and it proves that they're duplicating. We have a couple people on here who have gone to executive in 4 months, and we are super pumped to have them share what they did to duplicate, because you can't duplicate that fast unless you're equipping and sharing with others. The 3rd week, we'll go over the follow-up. I was asked by someone on the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing team tonight. They emailed me and they wanted to know, my earnings, some of the key things that I think are important. And they also wanted to know some of the key challenges. And one of the key things I said is the follow through on the follow-up, because follow-up is what's going to continue that new customer orientation. And if you are in this as a professional business and you want a career that takes you beyond a traditional income, we have to love the follow-up. It sounds so tedious, but it's really easy. It's 1, 2, 3. And we're going to show you the easiest thing ever. 1, 2, 3, it's done. Super cool and super easy and super effective. The fourth week, we're going to look through prospecting. How do we find people? What do we say to people and that sort of thing? And the last week, I'm leaving it kind of open, but I think it'll be decided by this group. But I think we want to look at how do we do an effective job of promoting events, promoting ourselves, and promoting what we believe in. And we want to look at investing in our people and not just saying, oh, I'll give you $100 if you sign up tomorrow. That gets you nowhere. We want to look at what is real promotion, what is real investing in your people. But we'll talk about that as we get towards the end, because every group we kind of have to, we'll kind of see where everybody's at before that. Tonight, though, we're going to look through why Young Living. We're going to look at our own stories of why we're doing this and who are you. We want people talking about you. Of course, we have to share the income disclosure. And then we're going to look at some books and videos to take you into next week that you can look at. For those powerhouse leaders on here tonight, please jump in at any time and share your expertise as we go along. I'm very open to that, and I would love you to chime in as you want to. As we go through tonight, I want to share some statistics with you to begin. The average person spends 90,000 hours at work over a lifetime. Like, that just blows my mind. Does it blow your mind? 90,000 hours is spent at work. Well, that's 90,000 hours that I think should be living life. And when I was a teacher, I loved my job, by the way. I loved it. I was a teacher for 20 years. I never dreamed I would ever leave it because I loved it so much. But I came to the reality one day, a colleague of mine came into my office and she said, Connie, you know what? If something happened to you tomorrow, the school district would have you replaced by tomorrow morning. Your family would be devastated forever. And that was kind of a pivotal moment for me, because I thought, oh my gosh, I threw my heart and soul into teaching. I spent hours and hours and hours after school, holidays, weekends. And I thought, oh my gosh, after she said that, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm doing this and I should be with my kids. And that was the moment when I thought, I need to rethink my priorities. Well, then as life would have it, I had just written a very large grant for the school district because my heart was with children of poverty. And I wrote a large grant, and the school district said, we're going to move you to another school, but we're going to keep your grant. And I said, you can't do that, because I wrote myself into the liaison person of the grant. But still, you can't do that because the money has to be used a certain way when you write a grant. And they said, well, we need you at a different school. And I said, well, that's not why I teach. Because it was at a school that everything is cool. I wanted to be with the kids that I could make a difference to. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to quit. And I walked out of that office, and I think everybody was shocked, including myself. Because I said, what did I just do? But I had been building Young Living, and I was at that transitional point of, should I go or should I stay? And I always tell every one of you, keep your day job. The best part of this business is you work full-time on your career and you work part-time on your future. And when you surpass that that income that you're making currently, keep that job another year, keep working part-time on that income so that by the time you resign, you are above what you were making before. Now, some people do it differently, and some people feel when it's time. They want to dedicate that. So I'm just saying it's very personal when you make that transition. There's some people who choose to never leave their career job. They love it, but they're building Young Living to equal that income so that they can have the financial security. I don't care what you do. All I know is that this business is a business that works as long as you are coachable and as long as you do the skills and the strategies that we show you. It works every time. The difference is some people do it in 2 years, some people do it in 8 years, but what I'm telling you, it doesn't matter, because if you work the business, everyone can get to Royal Crown Diamond. Worst case scenario, you do it as slow as a turtle and you do 1 rank per year. In 9 years, you will be a Royal Crown Diamond making over $1 million. Who cares how long it takes you, right? If I was somebody, like if I was plugging along and I was going, I'm frustrated, it's been 5 years, who gives a rip? By the time you hit the 9th year, you're going to be a Royal Crown Diamond. So, but you gotta be strategic. You can't just keep doing the same thing if it doesn't work. You gotta work the numbers. So hopefully, and maybe Leslie, Linda, and Megan, and I don't know who else is on here. Maybe you can remind me though about talking about the Oily Tools app in the future, because we want to base everything we do on numbers. So if I do a campaign, I want to make sure that I have a number, and then I want to do the campaign and have a number after to see if it works. Okay? If I do a rally, I want to take a number beforehand, do the rally, see if it works, take one after and see if it works. So everything should be based on a number. So if you're floating along and you've been silver for a long, long, long time, you're not using your numbers, because that tells me we need to be more strategic. So let's go back to now the statistics that I was talking about. 90,000 hours the average person spends at work. So as a teacher, that aha came to me, and I decided I love my job and I'm going to keep doing my job, but I want to work part-time on my future, and that was Young Living. At the very same time, I became very alarmed at the things that we purchase for our home. And I became very tuned into the toxins in our personal care and in our home products. So I started a movement called the Healing Home Movement. And Linda, you're on here. Linda Simon, wave your hand. She was one of those leaders that came alongside of me. She created this, the healthy medicine chest, we called it back then. But it was part of the healing home, is really knowing what goes on in our home, and we should be aware of those things. And so that led into a mom movement and a community movement, because it not only affected my family and my friends, the kids that I loved at school, it also affected our lake that we live on. And so it became a very passionate movement for me. And so when I started thinking about those 90,000 hours at work, I thought, I need to do something that's going to impact my family, but also impact the legacy that I want to leave behind. So that was important to me. So think about that as you're moving along. What is your passion? Why do you want people to be aware? What is your goal for your future? Another statistic that's interesting is 80% of people are dissatisfied with their jobs. Okay, raise your hand. Have you ever had those days where you go, I don't want to go to work today? They're called mental health days, right? You go, oh, I feel feverish. I'm going to stay home today. Okay, those are mental health days. That's because 80% of the people are dissatisfied with their jobs. Now, like I said before, I love teaching, but there were days when I just couldn't go. And it was good. I had to revive, and I went in there fresh, and it was all okay. It's kind of like as a mom too, sometimes you just have to take a day for yourself and come back and you're better. Another statistic is that when we look, 40% of people say their jobs are very stressful. And I can't help but feel that the stress is we're expected to do more for less. And also, I can't help but think that the stress is job security. We don't know if our job will be there. I know as a teacher, I was pink slipped every year. And every year I had to wonder if I was going to have a job. I taught 20 years. I was a dang good teacher. They were still pink slipping me, so what the heck, how does that work? So 40%. Each year, the average American spends 100 hours commuting. That's kind of a wow thing too. So I think a lot of great things can come from leaving your comfort zone and just trying young living. What do you have to lose, right? I believe, though, that network marketing is a phenomenal business model. It allows people, average people, to grow beyond a traditional income. I would have never believed as a teacher I would be where I am today, earning the money that I do. And so I think it's something to think about, that if we're strategic, we can really take this somewhere. Not everybody wants to build a Royal Crown Diamond business, and those of you on here tonight, you don't have to. You can build a small business or a large business, but think about this. Even as a silver leader, and, oh, where's my income disclosure? Just a second. Hold on just a second. With the income disclosure as a silver leader, okay, I might have taken it. Maybe somebody can post it on the chat line. But on your income disclosure, a silver leader will give you enough income where you're going to create a difference in your family's economic status. So for example, I was a teacher, okay? You make $50,000 a year. Just by adding an additional $1,000 a month. Thanks, Megan. She just posted the income disclosure. So if you press that, you can see the silver leader payout and the gold. But as a silver, even if you made that the additional $1,000 a month, that's over $12,000 a year. Think about that. That can be paying down debt. It can be a vacation. That could be one heck of a vacation, right? That could be car payments. That could be anything. What can that be for you? Keep with your day job, but even if you built it to $1,000 additional, think of what that can do for you. Unbelievable that what this business can do for the average person. Now, another cool statistic. Did you know the average franchise owner earns $75,000 a year? This is McDonald's, Dunn Brothers, any of those franchises that you know. make an average of $75,000 per year. If you look at that income disclosure, the average gold in Young Living is around that same number, $78,000 a year. With Young Living, you don't have to be there 24/7. You don't have to have employees. You don't have to have all the headaches of being a brick and mortar building. So for me as a teacher, when I looked at that and I could make the same as my local friend here who owns the Dunn Brothers Coffee, I could make the exact same and I wouldn't have to be there 24/7. That was very attractive to me. So think about that. The average franchise owner earns $75,000 per year. That's a great reason to do this business. Think about it. You all, depending on in the years to come ahead, you can earn more than the superintendent of schools. You can earn equal or more than the highest paid surgeon at the hospital. You can earn more than the average franchise business owner. That's pretty powerful when you think of what this business can offer us. But I'm going to go back because when I first started, I made one of the first paychecks was $263. And I said, all this work for a stinking $263? Because in the beginning, it's lots of work, isn't it? Being an entrepreneur, you're putting in time that does not equal the pay, right? But you're going on the vision that what it's going to become. I don't care if you are a franchise owner. When somebody buys a franchise, you don't instantly make $1 million. You have to put in the time. You have to go to work. It's going to take about 4 to 5 years to pay back that capital that you put into it. With Young Living, it's the same. Our capital is only $160 of the starter kit, but it's going to take us 4 years on an average to build up enough so that you start your business earning a real income. And so this is a great business model for us to choose. Another reason this business is so phenomenal is the other thing I was concerned about as a teacher is time. Time is a commodity and we never get time back. And my daughter was young, and my son was kind of in the middle, like 5th, 6th grade there. And I thought, I'll never get that time back. Now, I put in extra time to grow this business. I had classes, but those kids, they stuffed envelopes with me. They could lick the stamps. That was back when the stamps you had to lick the stamps. And we kind of did it together. But we also said that if you help mommy or whatever, that we'll apply this money for something fun for them too. It's a family business. And so I don't know if you all know this, but there's a family tax law that you can deduct paying your kids to work for you. Now, with the new tax things coming out, check with your accountant, because I don't know if they kept that or not, but check it out. It's called the family tax law, and that you may be able to have your kids join with you and have a family goal for the money that you're earning with Young Living. Another reason I thought about this business is that it would build the financial security I wanted for unexpected times. I'll tell you, nothing's secure nowadays. I wanted to create money that I could then invest back into my business and grow that business and then be able to have money that I could put into my security fund. Because I'll tell you what, there are always unexpected circumstances that happen in life. Always. So my first goal was to of course, invest back into my business, grow. But then when I got to the silver and started going upward, I would pull that money back into a security fund, tuck it in my little safe, nobody knows where that's buried, and have that as my security fund. It's not really buried, I'm just telling you a story. But I have this little security fund that I pulled back first for those emergencies, and then you continue to build your business. Here's the cool thing: as you move to silver, to gold, to platinum, some of you may even want to aspire to diamond and royal crown diamond. I'm looking at some statistics right now. The middle class salary in the whole United States is $50,000. If you grow your business between silver and gold, you will surpass the middle income of the whole United States. Okay, now we should be doing this right now. Is anybody going to join me on this? Okay, so thanks, Leslie. So think about the power in this. If you're just starting out and you are a star right now, you put your aspirations to silver and then go a little past silver, you are going to surpass the middle income in the whole United States. This motivates me to no end, because my goal is I want to mentor as many people as possible to go beyond that average middle income, because we can change the economic status in our circle of friends. And that's pretty dang cool, if you ask me. The top 25% incomes in the whole United States make $90,000. 25% of the US, the average income is $90,000. The top 25%. If you look at that income disclosure, where are you? Can anybody see that? You're in the platinum range, right? Top 10% in the whole US is 141,000. The top 5% is 190,000. This is annually. The top 1% of the US is $380,000 a year. Becoming a platinum or higher, you will surpass that income. Some golds are surpassing the top 1% of the US income. It depends on the width and the depth of your organization. That's pretty darn cool, right? Let's pull it back down though. When I was a teacher and I was making that stinking $263, if you think about that now as a person who is planning your portfolio, okay, your retirement portfolio, let's say. Do you know that that stinking $200 is equivalent to having $48,000 in a bank, not in a bank, in an investment, earning 5%? Is anybody getting 5% on their investments? So I say to people, if we can get you to $200 a month, just $200 a month, that is equivalent to you having saved $48,000, putting it in an investment with your financial advisor, and you're going to earn $200 a month, $2,400 a year on your investment. If we get you to $200, 200 stinking dollars in Young Living, you will have an equivalent of $48,000 in the in an investment earning that much. Now that's another one of these, right? Okay, we got to keep doing the dance, right? Okay, and the last thing I want to share, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this. Why do this business? Natural disasters. Sometimes we don't think about that, do we? There was just mudslides a couple days ago, right? Everybody was wiped out. When are they going to get that insurance? It's going to take time, isn't it? All the devastation that happened from the hurricanes, they're still not paid. One colleague of mine, she was $1 million earner. She lived in Louisiana, and when a hurricane came through there, she was the only person still earning an income, and she used her income to help her neighbors until everything kicked back in. Young Living pays whether you show up or not. If you build it, you still get paid. And so in a natural disaster, if you've spent the time and you've built an organization, it will sustain and you will get paid regardless if your home is standing or your business brick and mortar is still standing. Isn't that cool? So you don't know what unexpected circumstances will happen. Hurricanes, floods, fire, whatever. You're still going to get your check. And that's the beautiful thing about a Young Living business. When I was a teacher, I had a couple personal days and I had a few sick days. But if I didn't show up for work, I wouldn't get paid. I don't think many of us, does anybody get paid if you don't go to work? So that's another thing, is if a natural disaster happens, or let's say you have to take care of a loved one and because they're ill. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. The beautiful thing about Young Living is if you build it, you will still be paid even during those times that there is a struggle. Now, not in the beginning, you got to hustle. You got to hustle and build it. But once you start getting to silver and to gold, it pretty well, like you're still going to be working it to sustain it. But if you checked out for a few weeks, nothing's going to die, nothing's going to run amiss. So that's another beautiful thing about this business, is that it sustains. Okay, if the leaders who have been through this before if you want to come in and comment anything before we get to the nuts and bolts on just why do a Young Living business, I would love to have your insight as well, your comments. Go ahead. Yeah, Megan, go ahead.
I'm building a Young Living business. I had worked for corporate America and been laid off. Worked $1 million hours and then the phone call and I no longer have a job. So I'm building a business so that doesn't happen again. Plus, it's natural health. It's Young Living. I love it, and it works out perfectly.
Awesome. Megan is one of the fastest growing members, and so it's such a privilege to have her here. So make sure you pay attention to those comments. Thank you, Megan. Leslie, another fast-growing team. Do you have a couple comments? What started you with Young Living? Like, why did you get so excited about it?
Well, I'll tell you what happened with me with Young Living. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me take my earplugs out. I just was introduced to the product, didn't know anything about the company, network marketing, nothing. Used the product and then fell in love with it. Then I thought, after I started investigating. I thought, well, this could, got signed up and found out this could be a business. Well, I've been at my job now 27 years, and haven't gotten a raise for over 10 because of you. After a while, you don't get raises anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a support staff paraprofessional in the school district. After 27 years, I do the teacher of a job, but only get paid as a parapro. I don't get paid in the summer. So after I learned about network marketing, I thought I'm on the exact same playing field as a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer. It's just what I put into it because I could surpass them. And it clicked. And I realized you can do whatever you put into it is what you make.
Yes.
It's not, I don't have to go back to school to get a degree to be an entrepreneur. I can be an entrepreneur.
That's right.
And I just love the product. The product sold itself to me. And then when I got to understand the business, I was just like, I've got this.
Awesome. And that passion shows through, Leslie, because you understood the value of the business, but it was because it fit with your core values too. Yeah, well done. Megan, go ahead.
I forgot. I was going to add one other thing. When I worked for corporate America, I worked as hard as I could. Like I always wanted to move up, and I got raises until you got to a certain point, and then there wasn't any more raises. And then when these companies started laying people off, they start cutting people from the top down because we were the highest earners, and the ones at the bottom still kept their jobs. So it's great to have a career now where, as hard as I work, that's how fast my business grows, and I don't have to worry about losing my job because I'm getting to a higher earning status.
Bingo. And when we work for ourselves, we're more in control. Two people is Michelle. Did you get an audio finally? Are you able to come on? Michelle, I'd like you just to comment. You had a very successful training, horse training, equine training business, very successful, very fun, and you were able to integrate Young Living into it. I just want to say, you went from just being introduced to the business, and it's less than 4 months, and you're executive. Why did you want to integrate Young Living into your business, and what is it offering you?
Well, actually, Megan is the one that introduced us to the Young Living. We just, watching her be healthier, all of those things. We just asked her one day, what are you doing? And we want to be part of it. And so that's how we introduced to Young Living, which we started to use it, fell in love with it. It works in perfectly with all of our businesses. I'm sharing it with people and their horses, and love the business aspect of it. It's fun. It's the business part of it is fun, and the support that Young Living gives us to do that is amazing. So,
awesome.
And it also is, I've been self-employed my whole entire life. I was a hairdresser for 27 years. So being self-employed, I don't have a 401k. I don't have that. Young Living is my retirement.
Yes.
And so doing what I'm doing right now is my future. So, and it's fun. So
awesome. I love that. Young Living is my future, because I agree with you. I didn't have retirement. We moved so often. My teacher retirement went, and so I had to create my own. So I totally relate, Michelle. That's
yes.
super awesome reason for doing Young Living. Laura, corporate world Laura. What the heck are you doing with Young Living?
Well, my sister introduced it to me, and I absolutely fell in love with the products. And I saw the business model, and I was like, I can do this. I can duplicate the money that I'm making in corporate America, and I can leave that exhausting job and do something fun and do something that helps others.
Yeah. Awesome. And I've loved your posts of late. I can really tell you're just embracing that. Well done. Well done. So the moral of the story here is that if you want success, you have to be coachable. And the reason for faster success is when you equip people with very simple, duplicable steps, you go faster. And so that's what we want to show you during these 5 weeks, is to be coachable and to not keep doing the same thing if it's not giving you the numbers that you want. And then really listen and then do the steps, even if they're uncomfortable. Also, we have to be careful nowadays because on Facebook, there are a gazillion mentors. Mentor with me and I'll take you to the top. Mentor with me and I'll show you how to online market and you never have to talk to a person. Please, please don't believe them. Do not listen to anybody unless they're sitting there as a diamond, crown diamond, or royal crown diamond. Otherwise, they're just trying to make money off of you. So if I'm going to have somebody mentor me, I want to make sure that they are successful. Now, they may not be in the same company as me, but they better be successful in somewhere else before I listen. Facebook is amazing, but it also can be distracting because we think, oh, look at this person, they're going to be successful, and so I'm going to do what they do, but it's not always the right way to build. So I'm just giving you a warning. Don't just jump onto any mentoring program without thinking through it. Mentoring is good. You're on this program. Mentoring is good. Your upline is mentoring you. That is good. There's other mentors. I love like Eric Worre's program and Sarah Robbins and all of those. Those are good mentors because they really made it. They did make it, so they're good mentors. But don't follow those that are saying, oh, this is a diamond mentoring program. Check out, are they really a diamond? Have they really done something? So don't be fooled by that, because a lot of people are mentoring and they haven't achieved the success themselves. So as we start, make sure that we are open-minded and coachable during this process. The first thing we're going to talk about is that we also need to really embrace this business model. This business model is different than working retail. So if you've been in retail, realize that yes, you may do some of the actions that may be similar, but to grow a network marketing business, you have to equip others to do the same. And that's the way to fastest growth is through duplication. So pay attention as we go through the foundation. And the first thing you should do is equip the next person. So as soon as we have a lesson, you should now equip somebody else. That's the fastest way to learn and grow. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes so I don't get off track. The other thing I have written on my notes here is that this business model, you have to be open to receive the flow of money. When I first started, my reality was a teacher's salary. So I could see myself getting somewhere between silver and gold, no problem, because that's what I made. I could see that. I knew what it felt like. I knew what my lifestyle would be. But I hadn't opened my mind to the potential of where it could go. And so I had to work on allowing the flow of prosperity come into my life. And I had to do it different than I thought it should be. So I always say to every new startup, get the surrender oil. Apply a lot of surrender and just let go. Let go of how you thought your life should be and embrace the life that is trying to work its way into your consciousness. Now think about that. I was a control freak. I will do this and this and this, and I will be silver and I will be gold. But if I'm not casting a vision, if I'm not inspiring, if I'm not equipping, I will never be a Royal Crown Diamond. I was a worker bee. Man, I would work, tell me what to do, and I'll get it done. I had to let go of that reality. I had to let go of how I thought I could control my life, what I wanted it to be. I had to let go and allow the flow of prosperity, allow how the life that was trying to work its way into my consciousness. And that's a money consciousness. So begin to think about how you think about money and how you think about the flow of prosperity. You want to come to Young Living. You can come to Young Living with a teaspoon. You can come to Young Living with a bucket. You can come to Young Living with a rowboat, or you can come to Young Living with an ocean liner. It's up to you. And some people will jump right in and surpass and swim to the ocean liner. For me, I took the teaspoon, dipped it in. Oh, that was awesome. I took the bucket, dipped it in. Oh, that felt good. I took my bucket into the rowboat. I started rowing really fast. And then I had to make my way to the ocean liner because I had a hard time letting go. I didn't use enough surrender oil. So where you have these amazing leaders who just talk to you, they jumped in, they swam to the ocean liner right away. They were going to get there fast. So you can be this way or this way. Either way is going to get you to where you want to go. And that can be a small business or a large business. It doesn't matter whether it's small or large. You're going to have a beautiful security fund built for yourself. The other thing I wrote down is that as you can conceive more, more will come to you. And as I told you that story, the reason I went with a teaspoon at first, that was all I could conceive. It was just like my teacher's salary. That's what I could conceive. The bucket was a little bit more than the teacher's salary. The rowboat, whoa, when I hit platinum, that was way out of my comfort zone. I had to use a lot more surrender oil. And then I went to an event, and it opened my eyes to the empowerment that we have within each of us and the power of some of the most powerful women in network marketing. And that event changed my life. And I was determined to be $1 million earner because I wanted to impact women's lives like never before. And at that event was where I conceived the bigger vision. So I want to share to you, when you can conceive it, more will be, more will come to you. It's a pattern of thought, and it's a pattern of knowing that there's unlimited supply in the ocean. And so when you take your actions now, we're going to get down to some nitty-gritty actions that we want to do. And when we take those actions, we will begin increasing our prosperity. And that is always in accordance to our beliefs. If we're stalled, I stalled at gold because I couldn't conceive any further. I had to work on conceiving and casting a vision before I could receive it. So wherever you stall out, that's where your belief is. So you have to start working on your beliefs in order to receive. The true power begins the moment that you choose to see the possibilities and reject the notion that you are locked into your circumstances. That's a power statement there. I hope you got that. So you can't buy into the old stories. You have to decide. And your true power begins when you see those possibilities. What we want to do during these 5 weeks is break the pattern of thoughts and the old behaviors, the ones that we keep doing again and again and again that aren't getting us anywhere. We want to break those and open up to new ways of thinking. We want to hang out with powerful people. And when I say powerful, that doesn't mean anything monetary. It means people of impact. Yes, it sometimes involves money, but it also it depends on how people think. And so on the Facebook page, I did put a link to, it's a YouTube video called Let's Get Real, and it's the 3 components of a champion mindset. And I want to ask all of you to watch Eddie the Eagle this week. Eddie the Eagle is a movie. It's a heart-feeling movie that you've got to watch, but pay attention to the mindset in that movie, and it'll change your life. It'll help you make your plan as we go forward. We want to concentrate on prosperity, and that's what Eddie the Eagle did. His prosperity was being in the Olympics. You concentrate on that, and when you focus on, for us, Young Living, when we focus on the value that we can bring to others, the prosperity will flow. I have a saying, profits follow service. So focus, get the focus off yourself. It's not about you going to make lots of money. The focus is serving others, giving them so much value, and the prosperity will flow from that. We also have to know, though, we do want to talk about business. We do want to talk about success. We do want to talk about money and how our business is thriving. You want to talk about that. People will want to join you. Talk about being an entrepreneur. Talk about having a small, thriving business. Talk about you're a teacher during the day and building a part-time business, teaching people about 3 steps to create a healing home. Talk about I'm a corporate person by day and building a small business on the side for my retirement. Talk about how I've been years and years in a profession, but I needed to build a retirement on the side with my business. Talk about those things, and people will respond. Whatever you concentrate on increases. So if you're constantly worried about debt, constantly focused on the bills you have to pay, constantly focused on that, the more you're going to get. Focus on prosperity. Yes, there are bills, and I'm going to empower myself to do the action so that I earn more so the bills can be paid, but I'm going to be in a place of prosperity. I'm going to be growing that prosperity. Just like Leslie said, just like Megan said, just like Laura said, they're building for the future. Just like Michelle said, build for your future. Whatever you concentrate on increases. Prosperity is an outer expression. Why do I love to hang out with people? I love to hang out with the people that have they're a mindset of prosperity, not just monetary, prosperity, seeing the abundance in everything. So through these 5 weeks, even though we're going to be working on skills, on the side, I want you really working on the mindset. Because that's what's going to take you to a very successful business. Because the reality is, if you grow to silver or gold, you're just replacing one income for another. So for example, I'm going to pick on Laura for a second. Laura's in the corporate world. She grows to equal her income. Now she takes her corporate world job away and she's still working and she's still at the same place. It's just trading one job for another. I don't think Laura wants to do that. I think she wants to replace her income and go beyond so that she can have some fun in life and expand her lifestyle. Is that right, Laura? Awesome. So you have to be, so here's the 2 ways. If I was to stay teaching and I built on the side and I had a little bit extra on the side as a silver, let's say I just stayed there, that's increasing my lifestyle, isn't it? Because this is my solid job, but I've increased my lifestyle with Young Living by $1,000 a month. But if I grow this and I decide to quit, now I'm back where I was. You don't want to do that, I don't think. So for me, if you're going to grow a small business, keep your day job. This increases your lifestyle. But if you want to go to the top, match it, but then go beyond. That's how I think. I didn't want to just match my teaching style because I may as well stay teaching. But if I wanted to go beyond that and create a different type of life, I wanted to push through that. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so prosperity is an outer expression. So positivity. One thing, and I appreciate all of you because you don't know who I'm going to ask to say something, but Linda Simon, I want you to unmute. You are one person that is, when you hang out with you, I always feel like I'm a better person. You have that positive energy. You have an outer expression of prosperity in all elements of life. And I know this last year you've been through hell and back, and you still come out shining. So I don't know if you have a secret tip or if you want to say something to the fact about mindset and how important it is, because we're all going to hit adversity, right? And it's not going to be easy. So how do we push through that adversity in knowing that it's going to lead to greatness down the road? And I'm putting you on the spot. There's no...
That's okay. First of all, thank you for saying that. I needed to hear that because sometimes you think you lose it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to know that I didn't totally. But for me, it's about, in life has thrown me some curves. So one, I look for the gifts and what I can learn from it because that helps me be more resilient. So I make, even as awful as it can be, and this year was, like this December, I really focused on one, grieving that I needed to grieve, give myself permission to feel what I needed to feel, but also, how can I make something good come of this? And that helps me get beyond, and I feel like I'm starting to come on the other side of what happened. So, but I think that's huge in that for me, because I was born, I have a sacred contract to be a teacher and to make a difference. And this will help me help others. And once I can look at that, and it will just help me grow. And I'm already working with some of my team members to create something good that will help others and also will end up growing the business as well.
Mhm.
I guess that's what I can come up with right away.
I love that you use the word resilient, because when you watch the video, one of the key things that Eddie the Eagle, Olympic champions look at resilience because they have to, because there's going to be injuries, there's going to be downfalls, there's going to be all these things. And I think that's what you do so well, Linda, is how do you get through that? How do you become resilient? I like how you said that. So thank you for sharing that. And that really is a secret. And so thank you. I appreciate that, especially coming off the cuff like that. So thank you.
There's one other thing that I want to just add, because I'm looking at this for myself, about increasing our own consciousness to attract more prosperity and think bigger, is also to look back and say, okay, what was the pattern here? How did I respond? What can I do differently? Mm-hmm. Because I think we have to recognize our patterns that aren't serving us as well.
Yeah. Yes. There's a wonderful book. I love the Louise Hayes stuff, You Can Heal Your Life. And it's looking at those patterns. And she also has a chapter in there called The Flow of Prosperity. So that might be one that kind of fits with what you're saying, Linda. Okay, so now it is 1 hour into it, and our classes are 90 minutes. We got to get to the nuts and bolts. Enough of this chitter chatter, right? The reason that chitter chatter was so important, though, is we want to know why we are doing this business. Why are we choosing this business model? Because to tell you the truth, it's easier to go to the mall and get a job if you want time replaced with money. But if you're an entrepreneur, you know that the profits will exceed what you're paid in the end. But in the beginning, you're going to put in more work and not get paid for it. So you're not paid enough in the beginning, but you're overpaid in the end with this business model. So we want to get down to the nuts and bolts of what we need to do. I'm going to be posting kind of a worksheet for you. I don't know if you can see this, but it talks about our monthly tracking. What are we going to track? And then we're going to go, what are the actions to achieve our goal? I'll put that in there. I might have you do another homework first, so maybe I'll put this in maybe on over the weekend or something, but I want you to get first thing done first. But I'm going to put in there an action plan. And we want to start our businesses, all businesses go on numbers. So we have to know, the first one is we have to know the number of people in our organization. So look at your organization right now and write down, this is January, how many people are in your organization. So let's say you're just starting and there's 3 people in your organization. This is January. And by June, I don't know what you want. You're going to put X amount of people that you're going to have in June. Now, let me help you figure this out. The average person enrolls 2 people a month, average. So January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months. If the average is 2 people per month times 6 months is how many people? 12, right? Okay, that's an okay goal, but think about this business model. If I enroll 2 people, and what happens if I equip one of them or both of them to simply share with somebody else the value of the oils. They don't have to do a big time business, but what if they just recommend something they truly love? I recommend movies. I tell people about Netflix, my favorite Netflix series. I recommend restaurants. I recommend things all the time. So why not recommend the oils to somebody? So if I help somebody else recommend their favorite products, now instead of 2 people the next month that I did, these 2 might enroll somebody too, and now I'm increasing more. Does that make sense? So instead of the 2 people times 6 months, and that's 12, you could very well go to 24, let's say by June. So I always say, what is an average goal and what is a stretch goal? So think about that right now. Do you want to stretch yourself, or do you want to just do the average amount? I don't care what it is, but January, look at how many people you have in your organization. Then figure out how many is reality, the reality goal, what is totally doable. And then why don't you do a stretch goal and see how you progress through these 5 weeks and carry that into June. Is that helpful? Okay? And I'm going to give you a sheet. I just want you to be thinking about this. Okay? I'm going to give you, you can see I have January and June. Okay? I'm going to give you this. Okay? I'm just having you think about it. Then we're going to look at the number of people you have personally enrolled, because when you start out, you're the only person enrolling. But by the end of a month or 2, you might have somebody else that's enrolling too. So you're going to measure how many people you have personally enrolled, and then you're going to look at the number of new people enrolled by somebody else on your team, because that's going to tell you how you're doing as a mentor. Are you able to duplicate that? And what's cool, I have all these little tools sitting right next to me. How do we duplicate? I'm going to show you how to duplicate, and then I'm going to show you what are the books that we're going to 3 simple books that we're going to follow up with. 1, 2, 3, very easy. The 4th thing we're going to measure is our total organizational volume. What is it right now in January? And then where do you want it to be in June? Another very important statistic in our business is the number of people we have on Essential Rewards. Your personally enrolled people, you should have at least 70% of them enrolled with ER. Why do I say that? Because if you believe in this lifestyle and you communicate the value, it's a no-brainer that they should be on Essential Rewards, because they're already buying these products from Target or Walmart or somewhere. They're already getting lotion and shampoo and toothpaste. They're buying it from somewhere. So why not just switch over to Young Living, which is a higher quality product, and we can show you how economically it's not extra. You're using the same budget. So you want to have about 70% or greater of your personally enrolled on Essential Rewards. So if you have 10 people enrolled, 7 of them should be on Essential Rewards. And if you only have 1 person on Essential Rewards, that tells me you need to do some new customer orientation. You need to send them things to educate them. You need to give them some tools. And what I mean by tools is something like, Now What, or Aroma Clean, or something like that. Maybe they're into beauty, maybe. So we will go through that, what to send them so that you can get them interested in Essential Rewards. When we get to that part, I'm going to share Leslie has one of the most outstanding percentages for Essential Rewards. So I'm going to have her share the week we talk about that. And she just did a fabulous Facebook Live. I'll see if I can share it from one group to another. But how do you get people on Essential Rewards day one? So Essential Rewards. When your group gets larger, let's say executive to silver, you want to make sure that your entire group is 40%. You want to shoot for that. And because there's people that enroll and then they don't follow up with their friends and then it kind of gets lost. So the average for the whole entire group is about 40%. But I would even like to push that to 50. Why not, right? We can do it if we educate people. And then the number of people attending events. Events change people. Events help people learn faster. Events help people be empowered to hang around other successful, inspiring people. So the events that we support, Ignite is in Phoenix, Arizona at the end of February. Sometimes it's the 1st of March, depending on the calendar. In April, we always support the most powerful women in network marketing. Phenomenal. And then in the fall, in October, we support the Diamond Bound. And sometimes we do the mastermind in Florida, but sometimes these two overlap and I would rather people go to Diamond Bound. So it just depends. But those are networking events that I highly support. Now, of course, convention is product related. So convention is always a no-brainer. But these smaller events, these business events, I really support so you can you have a real focus concentration on your business skills and strategies and mindset. Okay, those are the things we're going to be measuring. Next week, we're going to talk about the actual actions you're going to start taking. But before we can take actions, I have 10 minutes left to talk about the foundation of everything is your story. Your story. Now, what a lot of people do is if we say, what is your story? I'm Connie, I'm a teacher, I have 2 children, I have a wonderful family, and my dog loves me, and it is so boring. You can't do that. You have to have a compelling story. So the first lesson that we're going to do is your story, because you're going to tell your story at the beginning of your classes. You're going to tell your story on Facebook. You're going to tell your story as you're meeting people, but you're going to do it in different ways. So you want to have your story that's compelling and it intrigues interest. And so we want to help you do that story. And some of our leaders that have been through this before, they will post their stories on our Facebook group so that you can have examples that you can kind of copycat and use as your own. So one of the key things that we say, we always say, we get the basic story down first, and then you tweak it around a bit. So get a pen and pencil ready, and we're going to start your story right now. So think about what you do for a living right now. So for example, I was a teacher, so I would say, I'm a teacher by trade. So you can say, I'm a lab technician by trade, or I'm a custodian by trade. whatever you want to say, I always say but, but I started a small business due to my passion, sharing 3 steps and for me, it was to create a healing home. For you, it might be to build awareness in the animal world. It could be 3 steps to help women with their financial stability, whatever you want it to be. So I'm a teacher by trade, and I started a small business showing people the 3 steps to create a healing home because it affects cognition, hormone balance, and productivity. Done. Okay, the second part of your story, now basically that's if somebody says, what do you do? You've got the answer, right? You just told me. The second part of that story, now you want to lengthen it a little bit. Now you can say, I was first introduced to natural living. I was first introduced to essential oils. I was first introduced to the world of nature by, and you can tell a little bit more of your story. Or it was because of a health concern, I was introduced to this because I was desperate. So say 1 or 2 sentences how you started this journey with Young Living. If you can hear snoring, that's my dog. She's snoring really loud. And then the next sentence is say a sentence about the urgency you felt. Like maybe you felt underappreciated. Maybe you had an illness. Maybe you just felt life was going nowhere. Maybe you felt unfulfilled. But say a statement of urgency of why Young Living was the answer. For me, I think a lot of you, I tell a couple different stories. One was I gave my son Dimetap and then it was recalled and I thought I killed him. That's a terrible story, but that's true. So, and then another one was I had so many young people that were being diagnosed with very serious disease. And I cried so many tears. I had to find the answers why. And it became totally apparent to me that we had to build awareness of the toxins within our own homes. And so that was my little whoa, my urgent story, my whoa story. So do 1 sentence that is urgent and alarming that you want to build on and why Young Living was the answer. And now make a sentence that says, I am determined to. I am determined to what? Laura, do you still have your story? Or Megan or Leslie, do you have your story handy?
Are you a mind reader? I just pulled it out of my container.
Okay, so now I'm going to have Laura read hers first and take it as an example. And this is what Laura came up with after she kind of wrote down the key things like you guys just did, but then she tweaked it. And here's what she ended up with. Go ahead, Laura.
Okay. Today, living a healthy, clean life is a huge challenge. Our world has changed so much. And I feel we all need to get back to basics. A cleaner lifestyle, from our food to our homes and to our families, whether we eat it, clean with it, or wear it. In order to make the changes for my family, it starts with me. Over the years, I've built my life around 3 little words: seize the day, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. Let me tell you how I am seizing the day today. My sister Leslie invited me to her home to listen to a presentation on Young Living essential oils. I went and I was intrigued by what was presented to me. She showed me how I could live a more natural, cleaner life just by changing a few lifestyle habits. I ordered the essential oils kit and started using the oils. I absolutely love them. Then I moved on to a cleaner, safer home with the Thieves products. Now, wow, I have discovered the beauty products and my life has not been the same. I use all of the incredible face creams and makeup, and all I can say is beautiful. One of my aha moments was when I ordered the Young Living deodorant. I will never need to purchase product that contains harmful aluminum again just to smell good. Finally, I discovered that I could use these products and achieve my goals of a healthier lifestyle, share them with other like-minded folks, and have the products pay for themselves. I have now realized that my conviction has set the pace for a thriving business, and I have momentum earning enough money with Young Living to eventually be able to quit my job as a budget analyst with the Bureau of Reclamation that is sucking the life out of me. Hope my boss doesn't hear that. Not yet. I am determined that building awareness about the 5 key steps to living a cleaner, healthier life and showing other corporate people that are tired to realize being an entrepreneur is the best way to seize the day today. My goal is for me and my family to embrace a healthier lifestyle with Young Living, and I would like to offer that same opportunity. So I say, will you come and seize the day with me through Young Living essential oils?
Awesome. Now notice, well done. Notice she put her what she was and she was determined. She chose to put that at the bottom, and that's her story she would say at a class. So now if I said, Laura, what do you do? This is where she's going to say, I'm a budget analysis by trade, but I'm building a thriving business because my corporate job is sucking the life out of me. But if she wants to use the one sentence, if somebody says, what do you do? But she told the story that she just read, that's what she would share at a class. Isn't that intriguing? And she mentioned the products and why she's sharing the products with people, but she talked about having a small, thriving business and she was determined to do something. Did you notice that? Well done. Anybody else want to share their story from before as an example? Go ahead, Megan. Oh, and let me see. I just saw somebody else. Angela! Hi, I didn't see you there before. Angela, you can be next. Go ahead, Megan.
Okay, my one from before is, can anyone relate to starting over due to company downsizing, layoffs, or because of a move? I was tired of relying on someone else for job security. So I decided my only way to security was to start my own business. I was looking for a career that would stir my heart and where I could make a difference in the world. It was actually my friend George who opened my eyes to our health care, sick care system, and our body's innate ability to heal itself. He'd been given a death sentence in the US. He chose a natural treatment plan, moved to Mexico, and in not long at all was given a clean bill of health. Even in his 80s, he had the insides of a 20-year-old, didn't look his age, and had more energy than my sister and I. He would talk about in the US, as people get older, the main topic of conversation is how sick they are, who else is sick, what prescriptions they're taking, etc. It was then that I decided I was going to take charge of my health. George set an example of what was possible. Recently, a friend told me that I had made a huge difference in her and her husband's lives, Michelle. She said, I see how you live your life and trust your advice. You pointed us in a direction we never would have went on our own, and we are both very grateful. I knew I had found the right business to be in. I love the fact that my business is based on the pay it forward motto. Combining my natural health journey with owning my own business, working remotely, being my own boss, having job security, and making a difference in people's lives is a dream come true. Being an entrepreneur has positioned security in my life and has allowed me to live life. I don't want to start over again. My earning potential and income is now determined by me. The best part is partnering with like-minded people to do the same.
Super. Now that's the story she would tell like at a class or maybe a longer version. Now, if I said, oh, Megan and I are at a party and I say, Megan, what do you do? It's a short one sentence answer. So, oh, Megan, nice to meet you. What do you do?
Well, my shorter one that I say, which I do at classes because they know I'm Young Living, is that Young Living is a teaching and training company. I'm teaching people to pay attention to their bodies, to be aware of the chemicals in their cabinets, and to start living a less toxic life. It's empowering to see people get healthy. It's a calling, not an occupation. I really feel like this is what I was born to do with my life.
Perfect. Now let's go back to the party though. And we're having a little drink together and I say, oh, what do you do, Megan? And
I work full-time for a resort and part-time on my future, building my own business, empowering people to pay attention to their bodies.
Perfect.
And
do you see how
into the curb.
Yep, you can have the short version and then you stop because you want it to intrigue them. You don't keep talking because they don't care at that point. And then you use the longer version for the class. Okay, Angela, read your story.
I apologize. I don't even know if you can hear me.
I can. You got a little bit of a hoarseness there. Angela is another powerhouse. You just made silver, right, Angela?
Executive. Yeah.
Executive, and now you're moving to silver because that was I remember just being watching and going, woo, like that. So well done, on your way to silver. So go ahead.
This is the one that I do for classes. So
go ahead.
Hello. I just wanted to take a moment of your time to share some information with you about my wellness journey. I had learned about Young Living oils through demonstrations at craft vendor fairs and research on the internet. I knew that I wanted to change my lifestyle, but I had many excuses along the way. I struggled with the cost of the oils, the benefits, and would I really use them? How do I use them, etc. But then I decided that it's an investment in my family's health and finally dove in. We started using the oils and noticed the benefits very quickly. Our third worker was able to relax again and get some shut-eye. Our kids were doing better in school and focus. Energy levels were increasing, less doctor appointments. Our laboratory was able to use steps again, and our family became aware of our environment and the chemicals in it. Eating habits quickly, incorporated oils for our daily life. We've had such success with Young Living since 2014. I cannot help but share them with everyone. I am thrilled to have found a product line that empowers me as a mother. I am able to care for my family in a way that not only keeps us healthy, but cares for our beautiful earth. When I started sharing the products with family and friends, I quickly received the benefits. It feels great for me to be able to help our family budget through my Young Living business. The company is committed to creating lives of abundance, health, prosperity, and happiness. I am so excited to be on this health journey for once in my life. Whether you are interested in sharing the oils with others as a business or just wanting to use them in your daily life, the choice is yours. I look forward to talking with you more, answering questions you may have, and feeling free to visit my website, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so what you guys are seeing here is we're telling the longer version, and then one of those sentences you want to be able to use. So if somebody says, well, what do? You can answer it in one sentence and stop.
And I'm happy that you
Because if I'm at a party and I just say, what do you do? I really don't want to have your whole life story. I just want to have a one-word answer. And so you want to have it enough where it intrigues somebody. And then the longer story, of course, is when you go to a class or you're sharing, the longer version that, for whatever reason. So as you go along now, you have a few little starting sentences that we just did. You'll be able to finish your story. Every single one of you now, listen up. Add yourself to the Facebook group, and let me give you the name of the Facebook group here. Hold on. It's called January 2018 Entrepreneur Startup. And if you're my friend, if you friend me, Connie Marie McDaniel, I can add you, but make a little message so I know who you are. Otherwise, you can request and we'll put you in there. And then that Facebook group, as soon as you finish your story, I want you to post it so that we can come in there and help you make it a little more compelling. Like, everybody has to work on their story. And I know everybody was reading their story tonight, but I think as you give it, because I've heard some of you, it's more compelling because you add the expression and the passion and the more natural flow versus reading. I know it's always more difficult on the Zoom calls, but we want to make it compelling. And then what I hope to do is some of us, we can show you kind of an advanced version of your story where we can put it into an ad that you can use. So we can show you some of those examples as you finish up. But your homework is to write your story. Remember to have I'm a something by trade and I have a small business or a small thriving business. And then also have I am determined. I am determined. I posted my story on the Facebook page already, and I want you to take note of how it is said. It's not I was a teacher for 20 years and then I lived in, this place and this place. It's written more as a story so that people will be interested to ask a little bit more. Mine's more focused on business at this point in my life, but in the beginning, you'll see in the beginning of the paragraphs, I also mentioned that I still have such a passion for building awareness for creating a healing home. The other thing I want all of you to do as new startups, and listen to me, new startups, always have in there, I am determined to, and always have it to share 3 steps, 5 steps, 4 actions, 6 tools. Have a number, because then people, what are they going to do? The natural question is, what are the 3 steps? Oh, what are the 6 actions? Oh, four thoughts. What do I, like, so have a number in there. And I think you're going to have people asking more questions about your story. So could you write that on your notes, as to have, I teach people 3 steps to create a healing home, or I build awareness for the 4 important steps to being aware, or whatever it is that you want to do. But 3 steps, 4 actions, 10, whatever it is going to be more interesting for people. Okay. I have one more. Story is a homework piece. Here's your second piece of homework. I want you to go to www.entrepreneurlers.com. And I'm going to write that down, and I'll spell that for you. Entrepreneurlers. It's entrepreneur and Oilers put together. So it's ENTREPREN, and then Oilers, OILERS, entrepreneurlers.com. The passcode is abundance. And you're going to find on there's a menu at the top. I want you to go into business lessons. And I want you to start at the beginning. You can do as many as you want this week. I don't care. There's like 12 of them, but over the next 5 weeks, get through all 12. Some of them are 3 minutes. The longest one is 20 minutes. Most of them are like 8-ish minutes. Okay? But go through those and start at the beginning. There is one about your vision, which includes your story. So it might be helpful to listen to that before you write your story. But go through those. Those videos include tools, keeping it simple, typical objections so that you're ready for objections, all sorts of goodies on there. So go through those and see what you think. So 2 homeworks, your story, and you post that story this week. And then the second thing is go on to the Entrepreneur website and listen to just a couple videos. If you do 2 or 3 videos a week, you'll be right on schedule. And then I also posted a video called Let's Get Real. That's your 3rd homework piece. Let's Get Real, 3 components of a champion mindset. And that's the one where you watch Eddie the Eagle. That's for entertainment. You can watch it with your family. It's not required, but watch the video though. And then if you get a chance, watch Eddie the Eagle. It's an awesome movie. So we are at the end of our time. I want to thank you all for this time in your life. I'll tell you, there's never the right time. There's never enough time. There's never the perfect time. So all of you that showed up here tonight, I'll tell you what, that tells me a lot about you. And the people that show up are the ones that will make it work. So well done, all of you. Thank you for taking that time tonight. I am going to stay on here. I always stay on for 20 minutes or half hour answering questions. So thank you for being with us. And